So our basic approach was simple. We picked the base plan. We did this actually at a number of different levels, but for the purposes of this, we had a silver, a relatively standard silver base plan. I realize there's a whole range of different silver plans and different designs, so relatively typical silver base plan, so roughly a 70% actuarial value plan. Then we identified high and low value services. It's one bullet point, a ton of discussion, and then we went back and forth to try and get the high value services to have lower cost sharing, and with the help of Oliver Wyman, then to figure out how we could offset that with various types of low value services. Much more detail on that is in the handout. The goal in doing that, again, in part because we were constrained by the 70% actuarial value, we would have no increase in premiums, and we wanted to do it all without having an increase in the deductibles, which have caused a lot of concern broadly. So next slide. So the whole project consisted of 4 meetings and a bunch of work between the meetings. The first meeting was to bring the group together and discuss the issues, the ground rules, and the processes. A lot of these questions about how nuanced we could be in picking high and low value services. So for example, a service is not high value for everybody necessarily. It may be only high value for some subset of people. So there's a question about that level of granularity, what would be implementable, and a whole series of other related issues about how we were going to go about doing this. Then the second meeting was really concentrated on the high value services. What are the high value services? And then between, there was a lot of iteration with Oliver Wyman to score what that would do. If all we did was lower the cost sharing on the high value services, what would that do to our actuarial value? And then once we knew that, we had the third meeting, which was to identify low value services and go back to Oliver Wyman to get scoring on the low value services. And then much more time than I ever thought would take was spent trying to balance the high and low value services so we could retain the same actuarial value.